what I really wanted to talk about was just what it takes to sell American single malt whiskey to the world. It is absolutely hitting its stride as a category, but also it's relatively new to the world. It's relatively new to consumers, and you still see a lot of raised eyebrows when you say the words American single malt whiskey. So just curious what your guys' experience is out in the world trying to talk about what this category is all about.
I can tell you, I mean, from my experience, I work at a distillery that like a lot of distilleries in the United States, we don't only make single malt, we make bourbon, we make rye, and single malt is really what we're pushing at this point in time. Bourbon obviously was very easy because it's been king in the United States for so long. To transition consumers, especially in our market, was very difficult to get them to drink Cedar Ridge bourbon, but also Cedar Ridge single malt. You know that if someone buys your product, or someone buys Stranahan's or McCarthy's, there's a good chance they're eventually going to make their way to mine right now. And so rising tide raises all ships, and that's kind of the mentality of the association right now.
Yeah, it was really challenging, and 10 years ago, walking into a liquor store and knowing that they had your product, but not being able to find it because it might have been with the scotches or it might have been with the bourbon, and if I knew if I couldn't find it, then our consumers weren't going to be able to find it, and if they did, they could be disappointed by where they found it, right?
Yeah.
Searching for, our whiskey with all the bourbons, which are all priced at $34.99.
Yeah, and that time is coming soon where we won't have to dwell so much on the category in establishing that baseline, and we can talk about the individual distillery, narratives or, the details of production and things that people do want to hear, but they only want to hear that if they have the context set for them of what they're hearing it for. And I think we're doing that. And I think we're well beyond the you just make scotch. I think the Japanese did that for us. They proved that great single malt could be made outside of Scotland.
That's the thing I was going to say earlier is how much global single malt growth has absolutely changed things we used to have to talk about that now are way more familiar. Even hot climate. I've been on a few panels around global hot climate,
India.
Not even just whiskey, just spirits, hot climate spirits, and I'm on there with rum producers and India, Taiwan, even Australia, New Zealand. Like the fact that anybody even thought we should have a panel on spirits made in hot weather maturation climates was like, thank God. Like that's a thing finally. Like we're going to do that at a conference. Hell yeah, let's go.